in lab. So first we will start with electrochemical anodization. How to make nanotubes by yourself. So everybody can make nanotubes. I hope you are already aware about nanotubes and nanotechnology and its applications. So you are seeing here is a 3D illustration of titanium dioxide nanotubes. So today this whole talk will be about how to make titanium dioxide nanotubes. So before I am jumping into the process, why nanotubes? So we will quickly go through it. So the porous structure of nanotubes increases light absorption. Secondly, nanotubes are better electrical thermal conductivity and they have high surface area. So you are already aware about the benefits of high surface area, more activity, right? And material property. And when with nanotubes you can engineer material properties such as band gap, carrier density, etc. How? So you change their length, you change their diameter, so you change the material property. So in that way you can change so many things. So that and all very detailed you will learn if it is necessary for you. And we can use these nanotubes in solar cells, capacitors, sensing applications, photodegradation, etc. So nanotubes are important. So titanium dioxide nanotubes fabrication is a very simple electrochemical anodization technique. Easy to scale up. You can do it in 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter material. Also, you can do it in 10 centimeter or 100-meter material. So it have same effect. And fabrication of metal oxide nanostructures in this easy method is very important because you are already seen in our research class that MOCVD and all other metal oxide vapor depositions are very costly. So this is the simplest electrochemical anodization technique which you will ever learn. And so basically you will have a titanium and you will have some chemicals. So what happens is titanium reacts with water when you apply voltage and creates titanium dioxide. At that time it frees some hydrogen ions, and that ions will later cause the formed titanium dioxide, and the fluorine ion present in the solution will generate titanium hexafluorotitanium formation. So you just remember this titanium become titanium dioxide because this is titanium dioxide nanotubes. This nanotube formation happens because of the formation of this hexafluorotitanium. Okay, that's all you need to understand a little bit. So this is what basically happens. You can see this is the formed titanium dioxide. This is the titanium metal and it is in the electrolyte. So you just roughly you need to see so that when I talk in the later slides you will understand. So in order to make titanium dioxide, what you need? You need some chemicals and you need a titanium foil and an anodization set. What are the chemicals you require? You require ammonium fluoride. See, it will come in a bottle like this. It is there in our lab. We buy this from various chemical factories. Sigma Aldrich, there is a website called Sigma Aldrich. You can buy from there. There are other websites as well. And deionized water. So normal water you cannot use. You require deionized water, which is specifically prepared for this experimental requirements. And ethylene glycol. Same in the same way you are buying ammonium fluoride, you are buying ethylene glycol as well. So you basically prepare a solution with the ammonium fluoride, deionized water, and ethylene glycol. So that is your electrolyte. And you need a, oh sorry, this is wrong. You require a platinum mesh as a counter electrode, and this is actually the image of a titanium foil, and I mistakenly written ethylene glycol. I don't know how it happened. So this is a titanium foil. So you required as an anode, you require a titanium foil, and you as a counter electrode, you require a platinum mesh. So your anodization setup will look like this. So this is your electrolyte, which contains ammonium fluoride, ethylene glycol, and deionized water. And this will be your anode, titanium. And cathode is a platinum mesh, which I have shown you. It will look like this. So you are dipping both in the electrolyte and you are anodizing this titanium. That is why this entire process is called electrochemical anodization. This setup is called electrochemical setup, and this process is called electrochemical anodization. So you apply voltage. I have told you that you apply voltage, then only there is a formation of titanium dioxide. So this is a power supply. So it's very simply a power supply, a cathode, anode, and an electrolyte. And you do not need magnetic stirrer always. Some experiments require magnetic stirrer. In this particular setup, it right now it doesn't require a magnetic stirrer. So this titanium dioxide nanotube arrays will be formed over titanium, on titanium. So I have shown you this power supply. So there are different type of power supplies which you can control very precisely in the nano voltage level from voltage level. So right now in our lab we are using power supply which we can control zero point 0.1 volt. So you can put 30.1, 30.2, but you cannot keep something in between. 30.15 we cannot keep. So that kind of a voltmeter right now we are using, but earlier we were using this source meter. This source meter have very precise range. So you can even control voltage up to 001. It, so how good is your source meter? Um, will be helping will be have an effect on your formed nanotubes. So how good your source meter, that good your fabrication process, that accurate your fabrication process will be. So you can see a source meter, an advanced source meter, also a normal, a bachelor level which you have handled type of power source. Also the anodization mechanism, how anodization happens. So you apply a voltage over time. So when the time is moving, the current is generating and there will be a dip in the current time profile. When the current time profile have a dip, then there will be the formation of porous oxide. If it is not happening, then you will only have a compact oxide layer over your titanium. So you have already seen titanium in here. So over this titanium, there will be a titanium dioxide formation. So how this porous oxide formation happens? So you can see in the beginning, there is only titanium substrate which you have seen. So this is a side view. You should remember this is a side view. So this is the titanium substrate. And when I'm applying potential, there will be a formation of titanium dioxide over the titanium. So this is exactly not up to scale. See, if it is up to scale, that will be, there is not even a line because it is in the nano, right? Very very small titanium dioxide layer formation. So this is not exactly like if you do the anodization, and you are looking by naked eyes, you won't be able to see it. You need some scanning electron microscope, like characterization techniques that we will discuss in another lecture. And so titanium dioxide is formed. And in the next step, the pit formation. So I have told you that there is ammonium fluoride in the solution. That ammonium fluoride, that fluoride ions will react with the titanium dioxide, and it will, when it is formed, there is a new element formed, that is there's a new formation of a compound, that is hexafluorotitanium. I have shown you in the beginning that hexafluorotitanium, then it is no more titanium dioxide, right? It will go into the solution. So basically that process is happening for a time, and pits are formed. Pits are formed. So after, when this is happening for a long time, then there will be pores, and this will be pores, and there will be space in between pores, that will become void. So in the end, when you look at sideways, it will look like this. So don't think that it is penetrated into the metal. It is actually not penetrated into the metal. So you can see there, this is titanium dioxide in here. Okay. So we will wind up with a few effects. So if you changes the voltage, I told you we are applying voltage. So if you change the voltage, and this is a scanning electron microscope image, and it is actually showing, you can see this is 500 nanometer. Actually this is 500 nanometer. So it's a very enlarged image of the surface which which you did anodization, electrochemical anodization. At 10 volt you can see formation of pits and voids, but not very defined. When the voltage is increased, you can see larger and bigger pores, and which is, you can see this is also 500 nanometer, this is also 500 nanometer scale, but you can see how big the pores became. You can see, you can just compare yourself and you can see that. And next is different geometry. As when you can see, when the time is, when you take more time, then there is a growth in the in the titanium dioxide tube length. So more time, more reaction, so more length, tube have more length. You have seen, if you keep only this much time, then if you're stopping at this point, then the length will be this. If you have enough metal, if you have enough electrolyte, then if you go on, then it is happening, it will become more lengthy. You can see this is only 0.49 micrometer. You can see it's micrometer, not nanometer. And this is 1.4 micrometer, 2.89 micrometer, 4.95 micrometer. So at this level, if you if you if you try to separate the layer, you can see this nanotubes by your eyes, and you can separate and touch it. So when the length is more, and this is a table which you can just look at it and leave it. So when the voltage changes, the diameter of this particular pore changes, and its wall thickness changes. You can see in the beginning 10 volt, only 35 nanometer, wall thickness is 8 nanometer in a constant time. Okay, so if it is 10 minute, I am keeping the whole experiment at 10 minute. So when it is 50 volt, pore diameter is 160 nanometer, and wall thickness is 50 nanometer. And there is impact of electrolyte composition as well. You can see when I change the composition, this is the composition of the electrolyte. So this is water content. Water content in the electrolyte, when the water content is 2.5, your tubes looks like this. When you increase, your tubes will look like this. And similarly, when you increase the fluoride content, your tube will look in this way. You have to look in the green, you follow the green arrow mark, so you can see that it looks in this way. And uh, and when you anneal the samples, so when you prepare a particular sample, sometimes you learn, you try to understand what happens if you heat it. Because most of the techniques we are trying to do in our laboratory is for applying it in practical, to apply it in practical. Like if you create a good material for solar cell, you are going to make a solar cell. so that you should learn what happens with the temperature. So what happens if anil, whether its quality become good or bad or it's degrading like that. So at 250 degrees Celsius, you can see how defined your nanotubes are. On the way, when the temperature is increasing 650 degrees Celsius, you can see the tubes are degrading. It's no more intact or strong as 250-degree nanotubes. At 850 degrees, they are trying to lose their structure, and they're forming a different type of structure. So so basically these are the things when you are making an nanotubes. So what you should learn from this whole point is, so you use certain chemicals called ammonium fluoride, water, and ethylene glycol as an electrolyte, and you put a counter electrode, platinum, and you put a titanium together and apply voltage for a specific time, so you get different titanium dioxide and titanium dioxide nanotubes. So that is the essence of this talk. And so this work is not done by me, it's my seniors under the guidance of Prashant sir. So my senior Dr. CG Jyoti Prakash and Dr. C Clement Raj have done this work. So I have taken their images, their observations, and their experiments to show you how it is done. So this is the paper. Maybe one of